Hello there, and welcome to Resident Evil Village VR.
Lycans and gentlemen,
I'm here to make sure that you have the best possible experience when it comes to exploring the village and all of its secrets. Now, I'm pretty sure that you're a fairly beginner, intermediate virtual reality player, so I've got you covered. I'm going to cover movement, basic controls, and every little thing you need to know about the game and the console that you're playing it on. Let me start by saying this game is pretty beginner friendly, but it's not for the faint of heart. It is in fact a horror game, and horror games in VR, as you well know, are pretty difficult and pretty terrifying at times. There will be times where you'll be overwhelmed and you may want to put the headset down, but I'm here to make sure that you won't do that. As an experienced VR player myself, I know what it's like to get thrown straight into the deep end of a game and not know the controls, not know what you're doing, panic, and want to rip the headset off.
shit!
This is why Resident Evil Village is pretty good for beginner to intermediate players. It really ramps up the tension and the level of difficulty as you progress through the game, so that once you're overwhelmed, towards the middle and the later stages of the game, you really know where everything is. You really do, and that's why I love Resident Evil Village. This has been one of my favourite VR experiences of all time, and I'm hoping it'll be the same for you, regardless of whether I'm here or elsewhere.
No way!
Now, first and foremost, the most important thing when playing VR is, in my opinion, comfort. Comfort and freedom. So, in order to be free, you need to be comfortable. In order to be comfortable, you need to put the headset on correctly. Make sure that you're comfortable, make sure it's correct before progressing, because you don't want to have blurry vision or a bad VR experience. This goes without saying. So, PSVR 2, you haven't played much of it, I think, but make sure you put it on correctly. I'll walk you through it for the first time, but do make sure you take note as I walk you through, so that when you're alone, if you're alone, playing, you can set it up correctly, and you'll be good to go. Now, as you might be aware, the PlayStation VR 2 uses the new Sense controllers. That means they have adaptive triggers, similar to those found on the PlayStation 5 controllers, so you may be familiar with them. It increases tension as you fire different guns. One of my favourite aspects of the game is the first game I properly played with that experience, and it really ramps it up to the full. Now, I'm not going to walk you through basic VR movement analogs. You can work all that out. We can work it out together once you're in there. But there are some things that I do want to break down that I think you'll need to know until you're fucked and it's too late and you're thrown right into the deep end. So here are your two PSVR 2 Sense controllers. They're really nice controllers. I do wish they had some kind of strap other than this, because I find the Quest controllers better in that regard. But anyway, the X button interacts with objects. So pick up items, open doors, that's going to be your X button. That's going to be pretty important for you to know. Now, this is a VR game that isn't exactly built for VR. Well, it's not built for VR, it's essentially a port from a flat game. Resident Evil Village being a flat game, these buttons, it's not like you don't manually push open doors, you don't, interact in the same way as you would in a game like Boneworks, Bone Lab, where it's built from the ground up for VR. So yeah, this game, you have to keep that in mind. It was built for a flat screen. Now, another important thing for you to know, on your left controller, you have the square button. This one here. Square button, that is going to reload your gun. That is going to be very important. get used to it, maybe spend some time in the shooting range before you actually enter the game. Another important button for you to know is on the left controller, the triangle button. That's going to open your inventory. Just remember, reload, inventory, important. When it comes to combat, left controller trigger aim, right controller trigger fire. Pretty basic. Yeah, a control that you do want to definitely know about is L1 so L1 left controller, flashlight, gonna be important. Get that right. Flashlight, gonna need it a lot. You should have it on you, so you open your jacket. Flashlight's there. L1. Now, never be afraid to adjust the comfort settings. Comfort settings for beginners. You are a beginner, it's important to know. Adjust the comfort settings. Adjust them. If you're feeling sick, don't give up. Do not give up. Use teleport. Use a vignette. You know, make sure the snap turns at the right angle. Get these down before you enter combat. I can't stress that enough. Do it! Resident Evil games are survival games. This means managing your inventory is crucial. Making sure you have enough ammo, enough supplies, enough of everything basically. Enough med kits, they're pretty important in the game. Just make sure you're not just spraying and firing at every little thing. As tempting as that might seem, it's not the way to play a survival game. Be aware. Now, when you come across a typewriter in this game, that means save spot. Save at every typewriter you see. That is going to be important. That is going to save your progress and save your life. And another thing I want to stress, it's a VR experience, it's immersive, you know, it's been poured into VR for a reason. It's an immersive game. The environments look fantastic. Don't be afraid to just sit back, take a look around, take it slowly, explore things, try and find these goats that are everywhere. You can hear them. They'll do your head in, but try and get them because they will help you unlock some goodies and upgrade your weapons. Important tip here, stay calm. Stay calm. There will be times where you're swarmed. It's an intense game. It's not an easy game. There will be times when you die. Don't give up, don't panic. Look around, retreat if you need to. Relax, take deep breaths, manage your inventory. The good thing about this game is that you can in fact pause in combat and craft a medkit or get more ammo out of your inventory. This is a big help because it means that if you need a breath, I don't advise it because it's not fully immersive, but if you need a breath, just pause the game, regroup your head, and go again. Another important thing to add is that your knife will be on your wrist, and that will never disappear, so it's not one of those games you have to look after your weapons. If you drop your weapon, it will reappear in the spot, you know, but that's something that's important to know. Your knife, you can throw it. You won't be wasting ammo. You can keep throwing it, so you'll never be out of the weapon, basically. Unless there's a moment in which the character, you know, is stripped of weapons, which I believe there are a few. Yeah. So that's about it. That's the basics. I hope I've covered enough. It's quite a long game. As I remember, around 12 to 14 hours or so. I might be wrong on that, but it's a pretty long game. Don't try and power through it. Enjoy it. And yeah, make sure that you have fun. Stay focused. Be safe out there. There are a lot of terrifying moments. Just relax. You'll be good.
No way!